All right. So you know why I'm very excited about today's episode?
Why is that, mate?
Because it's our 6th episode for the season.
It is.
And Arsenal won 6-0 this morning.
Hey!
It was a glorious morning. Glorious morning today.
Yes.
6-0 against West Ham.
4-0 up at half time. And
Mate, our first 3 goals were set pieces.
One was a penalty, 2 set pieces.
2 set pieces. And then they just
Rice.
Oh, beautiful goal that was.
That was fantastic, wasn't
Beautiful goal. That was phenomenal. Phenomenal. All right. Catch up. How's the week been?
Oh, far out. Today was hot. Mate,
It was
38 degrees. Was working outside for probably half the day, and then I'm like, pack it in, boys. We're going home. But then it didn't really stop. Like, we just had a couple of quotes. But anyway, helping both sisters out again at their houses, have no time for me. It's good. You?
Okay, so last week I don't even know where I was.
Yeah, beautiful.
I had I felt like I had soccer every night of the week with the kids.
Probably did.
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Friday night I rushed from soccer to Norwood to watch the Nick Giannopoulos show.
Well, how was that?
Yeah. Okay.
Same.
Oh, look, he did the Yugoslavian taxi driver scene.
Fucking.
Yeah. And that was okay. Then he did the Petrula, the Greek cleaner scene.
Yeah.
That was bullshit, And then the rest of the show was about just him as Nick talking about his life as a comedian actor. I'm like, okay, all right, I don't know. Anyway, I didn't pay for the ticket, so whatever.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
But yeah, it was okay. And then Saturday, Sunday, worked both days.
Oh, beautiful.
Didn't get home till about 2 this morning. And and I'm not feeling too good, but I'm here. We're rock and rolling.
We're here.
We're rocking and rolling. And we've got a very important guest on tonight.
Not special, just important.
Just important.
Yeah. It's sort of like he had to come on.
This is my first time meeting him in person, but you know him from way back when.
I was a little boy, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
I was never really little. I was just like a boy. So, yeah.
Okay. I don't know where we're going with that.
This is Two Blokes in a Pod.
Hey, what is that?
The podcast where, well, it's a bit of this, a bit of that.
I don't understand.
Just blokey laughs and blokey chats.
Okay.
Whatever it is, let's get started.
Here we go. We are officially introducing to the podcast our first financial sponsor of the show,
Yes.
Benny.
G'day, boys. How are we?
Oh, very well, mate. Very well. And how are you?
Mate, it's hot. Big boys and hot weather don't mix.
Yeah,
It's
you're
been
telling
one
me.
of those days.
You're telling me. It's so. Yesterday I was. It wasn't as hot yesterday as it was today.
No.
But I had a wedding to do at Glenewan, and it was an outdoor wedding,
Where's Glenn Ewan?
like past Tea Tree Gully,
Okay.
right?
Sticks.
And I had to load my equipment up and push it through fucking grass about that thick, right? Like I'm talking 10, 15 centimeter grass. And that my trolley doesn't go well in stuff like that. It needs a flat surface. By the time I unloaded the first piece of equipment, my top was drenched like I just walked out of a shower.
I got out of the car, walked up the stairs, thought I had a heart attack, and then realised it's 412 degrees.
Yes.
It's just disgusting. It's just fucking disgusting.
Benny, thank you for coming on tonight.
Pleasure.
Obviously, we've invited you on as a sponsor, but also someone to have a chat with because from the way that I understand and from what Stamati knows, you're a man of many stories to tell.
Got a few. Definitely got a few.
And you also reached out to me saying that one of our previous episodes really hit home for you.
Yep.
And from that one episode, you ended up listening to pretty much all our episodes in about 3 days.
Well, actually, you could probably thank my wife for this because we were sitting at home and it was a Sunday night and she's scrolling through, I think it was Insta. She goes, "Did you know Stamati's on a podcast?" And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. I didn't know if Stamati was on a podcast, surely." And she goes, "No." And I looked and I went, So I started watching the first episode. Listen to the second, and I do a lot of fishing. I go out fishing with a few lads, and usually go down south, Second Valley, that sort of way, and it's an hour and a half drive. So it's a podcast, isn't it? So I started listening to one on the way out at 1 a.m. Stayed there till about 9 a.m. and all of a sudden I'm 6 or 7 episodes deep, and I'm fucking addicted. And then I got to the point where I heard, they're looking for sponsors, and I looked at my wife and I went, okay, I don't run a full-time business. I do something on the side which I've registered. Fuck it, I'd rather sponsor these boys and give up some money for a good cause.
Nice.
I appreciate that.
Nice. So tell us about your business.
So Lush Clean Kicks. I'm a bit of a shoe nut. I've got over 100 pairs. It was all conceived from my wife was actually in labour, and I was, as we all know, those lovely couches at the hospital, and sitting there and bored out of your brains for a while. I mean, yes, my wife's in pain, made sure she was okay, but then I started just scrolling through TikTok, and I started watching a couple of guys doing shoe restorations. And I'm like, I love some of my old shoes, but they just look filthy. And no matter what, you just normally, throw them into the washing machine and try and clean them up. And they'd never come out looking nice. But when these guys were doing it, they're coming out like fucking brand new. I was like, okay. So then I started watching methods behind it, started investing a little bit of money behind it. Then I started buying a couple of pairs of shoes that I'd like, that were a bit old, clean them up, flog them off for a profit. Showed it to a couple of mates. Can you clean up these ones? And then I said, look, you actually do a good job. Why don't you start doing it part-time? And I was like, well, look, I got 12 weeks off of work because my wife's just had a baby. I could help the wife out, or I could start cleaning shoes. And I decided to start
cleaning shoes.
So my wife was appreciative of it because her shoes were immaculate. Not so much that she wasn't getting a lot of sleep, but, they whinge. But and that's how it basically was conceived. It was literally me sitting in a hospital while my wife's screaming about giving birth, and I'm sitting there doing TikToks and bang, Lush Clean Kicks.
Nice. I definitely have a very big collection of shoes.
This bloke has a collection.
Yeah. So I've heard.
I do.
How many are we up to now, months?
I don't know, man. 60, 70 maybe. I don't know. Most of them are Yeezys. I've got about 18 pairs of Yeezys. A few Jordans, a few Dunks, all that sort of stuff. But I want to get more into the Dunks now.
We would call each other at 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, who the fuck are you on the phone to? I'm like, Stamati.
Yeah.
And we'd sit there and I'd be like, look at these shoes, look at these ones I found. Oh, killer, these ones are cheap. I think I'm going to buy these. I'm in an auction for these ones. And it's addictive. It's really addictive. Once you kind of think...
He's a bit of a phone slut though, isn't he?
Oh, hard.
Yeah, do you know how many times...
What do you mean?
Do you know how many times he calls me a day and my wife's like, seriously, what the fuck's going on with you two?
Do you know what? I have a relationship with a group of lads as well. We're probably the same. 3 boys very close to me. And we'll ring each other 15 times a day, literally for no fucking reason. No reason. There's absolutely no reason why.
I'm driving from like job to job, and get a bit bored in the car when all the podcasts are all up to date, So I listen to like an Arsenal podcast, the property podcast, our podcast.
Arsenal podcast? Oh, fuck.
We actually have an Arsenal podcast because Arsenal are actually doing all right. Is there a Southampton podcast?
Can we not even speak about it?
Oh,
you're a Southampton fan.
I
How
am.
random is that?
That is very random.
Southampton.
I am a Saints supporter. So my eldest brother, I'm the youngest of 6 boys, my eldest one. I've kind of gleaned something from each of my brothers. And he's a Saints supporter. And both love England, both love Saints. And that's just, it's been like that since I was a kid.
Okay, fair enough.
And he's a diehard Port Adelaide supporter too.
Oh, fucking please don't. Don't even. We're not going to get into this argument this early.
Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Okay.
Maybe later. It's a good idea though.
He's a Richmond supporter.
Blessed.
Very, very weird person.
Yeah. Random.
Southampton and Richmond.
Yes.
That does not go.
Nah, not at all.
If you were to say you were a St Kilda supporter, to follow on the theme of Saints,
Well, you'd think that would make sense, wouldn't you?
yeah,
Nah.
just like dickhead Port Adelaide Magpie supporters who follow Collingwood.
Hey.
No, I'm not calling
Well,
you're a
no,
Port
I
Power
don't-
person.
yes,
I'm
yeah.
saying the people that follow the black and white Magpies because it's the same team.
Yeah,
It's
true.
like, no, far from it.
It's the same. Like even in SANFL, the local league here in Adelaide, I don't follow Glenelg because they're the Tigers. I actually follow Central Districts.
Yeah, okay.
Completely random.
Okay, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, yes, the shoe cleaning business. So, are you still doing, are you still operating or
Yeah,
is it more
it's
part-time?
More
Like, what is it?
part-time. Look,
Yep.
I've obviously got a full-time job, got a little one, which makes it hard to do anything around the house, as you boys as parents would know.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get some time to yourself. So look, I've got my little area where I clean them up.
Laundry sink.
Laundry sink. It's a professional office. Then we've got I've actually gone out and invested a bit of money and created a shoe box. So you can kind of get that yellowing stains out of your soles and your shoes that make them look
Is
old.
it
and shit.
UV?
Yeah, UV light, basically. It's pretty much the same sort of thing they use for hydroponics, but mine is legal. Except if the neighbour looks over the backyard and sees the shed glowing, he kind of gets concerned from time to time. But yeah, basically, I just pop them under a UV light. You get some stuff straight from the States called Soul Sauce.
Yeah.
Paint it on. It brings your shoes back nice and white.
Wow.
How long do you leave it on there for?
It depends on how long I want to do a session for. So sometimes
Is there like, could you do it for like too long?
Yeah, you can definitely do it for too long. It cuts the grip away from the sole of the shoe.
Oh, okay.
You can also, if you have it under the UV light for too long, it'll actually make the natural glue that's in the shoe. It'll
eat
actually
away.
peel away, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you got floppy shoes, and it's just a fucking nightmare.
Okay.
Right.
So you got to know that.
Yeah, you basically, I run them for anywhere between 12, 18 and 24 hours sessions.
Oh, wow. That long.
So, yeah, because the light's quite low, obviously on a day like today where it's 600 degrees, I could actually just use outside. I could just pop them on a stake and point them up towards the sun, and the sun has the same effect.
Is it like Glad wrap? Do you like Glad wrap them?
You've got to Glad wrap them, keep them moist, because
Yeah.
if you don't do that, that's where you get your separation, and your soles will just become hard. And I've done that to a few of my wife's pairs. Thank God I didn't do them to my own.
Yeah.
So it's always good to test out on the wife's stuff rather than mine. If I come up with a new technique, I'm like, oh, honey, those shoes are looking a bit rough. Let me tidy them up for you.
That was sort of like last week. So I got my new phone, and then my old phone will then go to Katrina. It's an ongoing argument. She always wants the new phone, but I always end up getting it, right? So every year, like when her plan runs out, I'll grab it. When my plan runs out, whatever, right? So I put a new screen protector on her phone. I thought, well, I'll do her phone first.
Man of many talents.
Right? I'll do her phone first. Fucked it. And she goes, why are there so many bubbles? I'm like, I don't know. It's just, I tried, did what they said on YouTube, whatever, then did mine. Mine looked like perfect.
Mate, if only you knew a professional that may work in an industry where they can put phone screens on for you.
I just don't know anyone.
Next time, maybe hit a brother up. We'll give you a couple of tips.
Okay,
The king
thanks.
of YouTube.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Mind you, talking about phone screen covers, right? So there's this like little Asian dude downstairs in the My Centre food court,
Yes.
right? And I went there to get a phone screen because I have this habit. I buy the tempered glass ones,
Yes.
and they fucking crack so easy.
And they scratch your face when you're on the phone,
Yeah,
like when it's cracked.
yeah.
I don't get the tempered
So I
glass
went
anymore.
to this guy, and he goes, "Look, it's $80, but
$80,
but you've got a 2-year warranty on it. Anything that happens, slightest crack, you come back and we'll replace it for
Yeah,
you."
there's a few now out in the marketplace that actually do that. There's one I've seen, S24 Ultra, that do a front, back, and a camera. I think it's about $140. But same sort of thing. If
I paid $60 for mine. I got two.
but if it starts to peel off,
Yeah,
you go back
yeah, that's
in
right.
and replace
Yeah, you
it.
just have to. They get you to sign like a disclaimer with
Yep.
your email and that.
Yeah.
And they put the serial number of your phone, and
Yep.
then you go in there and say,
Yep.
"Yep, this is my phone."
Yep.
Bang, They'll swap it right over.
On their commercial, they had the screen protector on there and they had a nail and they were hammering the phone with the nail. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. But I'm like,
I bet you won't.
absolutely not.
It's only an S24, man. Come on.
What do you got?
S23 Ultras. Can we not talk about that? 'Cause
Okay.
I'm going to buy my new one.
Okay.
And how much did yours cost?
It's just on a plan, man. It's just on a plan.
Hang on, is that the brand new one?
Yeah, last week.
Oh, right.
The new cover came today, screen protector on.
Oh, you've even got the quad lock.
Yeah, oh, man, the best. These
Yeah,
are
right.
the best cases, man. And this one's the mag one. So, but anyway, whatever's. I'm having a pissing contest here.
I'm an Apple man.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Yeah, man is a loose term for it. Unique individuals are like pieces of fruit on the back of their phones.
Yeah.
It's just, I just don't get it. Like, they make no change. That this is a stupid thing I find about technology as someone who works with technology. They make the smallest adjustment and people are willing to drop 75-inch TV money for something that we just will use for 12, 24 months. And
I know. Crazy.
I'm like, it's mental. It's actually mental. And you see it every single year. I've just gotten the iPhone 14 Pro. I want a 15 now.
Yeah, no, I'm not like that. I haven't got the 15 and I won't get the 15. I'm on 14.
Yeah.
I usually go every 2 to 3 years getting
When your
an
contract
upgrade.
expires.
I don't have a contract.
Oh,
I just pay month by month.
okay.
Yeah, so I pay a certain amount per month,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, killer.
I can exit whenever I want, move over wherever I want, but yeah.
And it's getting to that sort of, I guess a lot of people are starting to look at that. Like, is it worth me spending, what's that? That's the 256 models to months?
1 terabyte.
1 terabyte. So that's $2,700.
Probably, yeah.
$2,800. I could buy an 85-inch TV for that.
Less. Yeah.
But see, that's the other thing though. Like, you know, I always look at going the high spec one. So like, you know, the terabyte or the 512. And then I realized I've got 2 terabytes of data, space on my iCloud.
OneDrive. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And literally every photo I take goes straight to that cloud.
So you don't really need to, eh?
Right? So I thought, I'll just go with the 256 version.
Save
Same
you
shit.
money. Save you
Same
money
shit.
and you just put it up onto the cloud.
Yeah.
I mean, look, effectively, look, they make calls, they make a text, you can watch a video, you can do other things on them, you're banking, everything. But what makes me actually chuckle is if somebody doesn't have access to their phone.
They go like thick withdrawal symptoms.
They're mental cases.
Yeah.
They're actually mental cases. I've literally seen it firsthand experience of people walking in like they're fucking zombies going, I can't do anything. Okay, calm down, breathe. You can still breathe. That's okay. We can help.
Well, last night at Glen Ewan, there's no reception there.
I'm not going to even bother to ask you who you're with,
What do you mean?
which provider.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter what provider you're in. It's in a dead space.
Ah, even better. That's the best.
It's in a dead space, so no one had reception.
It's so good when you sit there and everyone's like, oh, I'm with this company, they're so much better. I'm with this company, they're so much better.
Yeah.
What they've got to understand is every single company has a dead zone in Adelaide
Yeah.
or even in
Oh,
Australia.
no, this was a dead zone for everyone. Absolutely everyone. But the reason why I said, I like, you know, that affected me, because as you're DJing, what if someone comes up with a request that you don't have?
Oh, shit.
You know, you're fucked. Where normally I'd tether my phone to the computer.
Was it an Australiani wedding?
No, it was a Greek South African wedding.
Greek, South Africa.
Yeah, very good wedding. Very good wedding.
Food would have been spectacular.
I only had a little piece of fish that the restaurant. Yeah, I know. I'm like, can I have some of the meat? And they're like, sorry, sir, but that's all we've got. I'm like, fucking supply of food.
Since when's fish like on the menu at a wedding?
Yeah, exactly.
It's either chicken, steak, or
It's chicken or steak.
That's it.
There's no fish.
No.
Yeah, well, the venue isn't, you know, Italiano like fucking Donato's or something.
Yeah, fair call.
Wait, Donato's.
Donato's isn't Italian anymore.
It's not
Argentinian.
anymore. Is it?
No, man, they've been taken over by Indians.
No, not Indianis. Please don't.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, not Argentinian.
Oh, no,
JDF.
That's JDF.
JDF is.
John DeFettis.
John
Yeah.
DeFettis is Argentinian.
That's usually always good food.
Yeah.
Steaks there are usually.
But back
pretty
in the
good.
day, Donato's, when Mark Donato ran the centre,
Yeah.
That's what
oh my God.
I
that,
had my wedding. It was Mark Donato.
yeah.
I had mine at the Grand Ballroom there on Henley Beach Road. By the way, great little venue.
On Tapley's Hill Road.
Tapley's Hill Road.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, that was a beautiful
Tropiano's,
venue.
it used to be called, yeah.
We had, I think we had our wedding there. My sister-in-law had her wedding there, so it's a family affair.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The food's always good,
Yeah.
you know.
If you've been to a function so often and the food's always good and like your family's been going there, you may as well just keep doing what they're doing.
But it's funny if you go to a wedding and the food is shit.
Oh, the whole wedding's
Oh,
fucked.
everyone knows about it. Do you know what? It doesn't matter how pretty the dresses were.
No.
Doesn't matter how good the harp player was at the church or the singer was. Mate, the food was skeeve and it's destroyed that. It's tainted the wedding.
So my part of my family, they're like very well off, property owners, business owners, and every single wedding that my cousins had was at pretty pristine, like top notch centers, right? Where I'm talking, you know, you'd have like this little thing like that for entree, and your main meal was like a slither of kangaroo or something.
So it's 7 courses of this.
Yeah, and I remember specifically one of the weddings, and my mum just looked at the food, going, "What the hell is this?" And the waiter's like, "Oh, that's a rare kangaroo." And she's like, "Why is kangaroo on the menu?" "Oh, that's one of our specialties."
Kangaroo is a good meat though.
Oh, I love it.
It
I
is.
love it.
It's gotta be cooked right,
But
though.
we're talking about old wogs,
Oh, nah.
where they came to
Steak.
Australia thinking that kangaroo's a mode of transportation.
Correct.
Right.
Some of them still do.
Well, in Greece they do. When I went to Greece, they asked me, "Do you ride a kangaroo every day to work to school?" I said, "Absolutely, absolutely."
You got to go with it, eh? You got
I
to go with
said,
it.
"I've got a kangaroo at home called Johnny."
Skippy.
Yeah, no, well, no,
Skippy.
That was my dad's kangaroo, Skippy. And they go, "Oh, does your dad own Skippy?" Like, as in the character, because they obviously saw the show.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And I've got his son, Johnny. Anyway. But yeah, so, he ruins it. He ruins it. And I remember that wedding, my mum, once we got in the car, and my mum was never one to say, "Oh, let's go to McDonald's or Hungry Jack's" or that. Get in the car and she goes, "Right, we got to go eat somewhere."
That is the greatest thing. I don't care if you've eaten well or not. That after wedding McDonald's run, best. You've been drinking all night. Yes, you've probably had some good food. You've had a good laugh. You've been dancing, everything. But let me tell you, that McDonald's run, that last 5 minutes
Double
of it,
quarter pounder on the
before
way
you had
home.
Double quarter pounder, a little bit of extra salt on the chips. Got to be conscious. Get the Diet Coke, pushes indigestion down quicker, right? It's just the greatest thing in the world. Except the last trip that I did, my beautiful wife, we had a wedding. It was right out in the sticks to the point where the groom, he flew in via helicopter. It was at one of the wineries. Beautiful setting, beautiful wedding. And I'm thinking, it's a nice wedding. I'm going to tidy up my car, make it look all nice. Got a little Golf R, beautiful, nice black wheels, dark colour. We're pulling up to the wedding and I look at it, I'm like, it's fucking gravel. I said, "Well, what are you going to do?" I go, "How far is it?" She goes, "Why?" I go, "We'll walk from here." She goes, "Ben, you're not." She goes, "It's 1.6 Ks. I'm like, "Honey, it's not that far." Now, I'm not a little lad and I don't like walking, but I was.
You like your car better.
Yeah, I love my car. My car's my baby. It really, really is. And I reckon I drove down this gravel road at about 4 Ks an hour, 5 Ks an hour. There was no way I was going any faster to get a single stone chip on my baby. And we get there and beautiful scenery, had great food that night. And obviously my wife, she doesn't drink heavily. I tend to drink extremely heavily. So
We got to compensate for her.
yeah, I have to. Somebody's got to pick up that side
Slack,
of
yeah.
that slack. So I said, "Honey, you drive home." She go, "All right." And I'm nervous enough for letting her drive my car, but I don't mind. We pull into McDonald's. And I'm like, "Honey, I got to go for a piss." you know how you've been drinking all night. You're like, I'm not using the toilets there.
You got to break the seal.
There's piss all over the floor. I don't want to use it. I go, honey, just go behind the McDonald's so I can take a leak. I think we're up at Mount Barker. Just turned, come over. All of a sudden, I just hear smash. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I get out and I look, and I've got beautiful black wheels, not a mark on them. And all I can see is one of my lips folded over. Let me tell you, my wife's not driven my car since. It will not happen.
No.
Nor will I do a Macca's run again because I'm too scared to let her drive my car because
Through the drive-through.
It's just terrible. It's just it ruined the Macca's run for me for
foreseeable future.
Foreseeable future, easy. Easily. Sorry, Marissa.
She will be listening to this.
She 100. Do you know what? As I said, she was the one who actually turned me on to you boys and turned me on.
Well,
to
there'd be
fellas.
problems if your wife didn't turn you on.
Yeah. You know what, my baby, she's a good girl.
Are we talking about the car or your wife?
Both.
Okay.
My lovely wife, Marissa, she will be listening 100%. She's a big supporter of you guys. She's a big supporter of Stamati. We love Stamati's family, as you were saying earlier. Stamati and I've known each other for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
I've always been that kind of adopted son. I call his mum, his dad's dad. You know, he's my brother. His sisters are my sisters. My wife and his sister Eleni are very, very close. So we've just grown up around each other. So I was very proud of him when I saw that he was doing something like this for mental health, because we all know Stamati's journey that he's been through, and it's good to see younger lads getting around other people because it doesn't get spoken about enough.
No, it doesn't. You know, you're right. So, and that's where I was going to open up to you. Like you mentioned earlier that one of our episodes sort of hit home for you. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah. So, I mean, we all know your story with Danielle. And my wife and I, we tried a long years to have a baby, and my wife was 27 weeks, and unfortunately we lost our son James. So when you talk mental health, and you talk about health of not just men, but of husbands, brothers and sisters and that's one of the biggest testing things. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, You've got the thrill of, everything being beautiful and perfect, and then, you're at an appointment and they turn around and say to you, you've got to go to the hospital now. And I'm like, fucking, what do you mean we've got to go to the hospital now? Said, we're 27 weeks. No, we've got to go now. So when it all happened, it was like a blur. It was really like a blur. It literally happened was, we went for a scan here on Anzac Highway, I think it is.
Yes,
and doctor came in and said, look, we've got a couple of concerns. And I went, okay. I'm sitting there going, what are the concerns? They're using all big words, and I'm sitting there going, mate, dumb it down for me. Not doctor, you're doctor. Speak stupid for me. You've got to go to the hospital now. So we go to the hospital, and they were concerned about our son's growth. We were 26, 27 weeks, but he was only measuring 22, and 22, 21 weeks thereabouts. And they said, all right, look, we're probably going to have to get ready to bring him early. And I'm sitting there going, fucking, what do you mean bring him early? He's 27 weeks. And I remember one of the things that probably stuck in my mind the hardest was my mother-in-law. Beautiful woman. She turned around to me and she goes, Ben, you're going to have all these fears right now, but you need to just be strong for your wife. I just went, yeah, all right, done. So I just blocked out any thoughts or feelings that I had and any stress, and I just tried to make sure she was comfortable, she was okay. If I was going to break down, it wasn't going to be in front of her. So we get told, look, we're going to get him ready to start breathing. We're going to start giving Marissa steroids and this, that, and the other, and get him ready to breathe. So they go, fuck, this is heavy. Like, they took us through the intensive care unit, the Women's and Children's, beautiful hospital, great staff, like the jobs they could do. There is no way I'd ever could do that sort of a job. They take us through, and like you're looking at babies that are 28, 29 weeks, and they're like, their skin's like see-through.
Yeah.
It's see-through. And you're like, and they survive. And you're sitting there going, fuck, how do they do that? Like the modern medicine it's just ridiculous. And I guess I remember we were sitting down with the doctor. Just a little side story, the doctor that we actually had was the doctor that was recently murdered.
Oh, wow.
He was actually our doctor that came in and saw us.
Yeah,
My
right.
wife actually said it to me the other night and goes, does he look familiar? I went, yeah, he was the one we had at the Women's and Children's. She goes, yeah, he got murdered.
Wow.
So, great man, by the way. And, you know, they said, you know, where they started giving her steroids on a Friday and they were booking him in Sunday night or Monday morning, I think it was, that he'd come out. So we're at the hospital every day, you know, and they're like, you can't stay here. And I'm like, fucking, what do you mean I can't stay here with my wife?
That just blows my mind. That's even like when we almost lost Theodore halfway, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't stay here." It's like, what?
What do you fucking mean?
Yeah, I was going.
Was this during COVID times?
No.
No,
This was this
yours-
was 2017.
Yes,
2017, yeah.
I think Theodore obviously, it was around COVID time, but they they said, no, you can't stay here. You can come and visit, but you got to be out by 8. And Katrina had to stay in hospital for like 2 weeks to make sure that, because she had to get the stitch done on her cervix because she started dilating at 19, 20 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So then they did the surgery, mate, at Women's and Children's. You can't, like you said, like fault them. They're like amazing staff.
Excellent staff. Staff.
Yeah.
But it blew me away. I couldn't be there with my wife. You know?
Yeah.
You want to be there. You're going through this up and down. I remember it was a Saturday night. I went home. I couldn't stay at home because
So she was put in Friday night.
she was put in Friday night. So we were there Friday night, all day Saturday, and then Saturday night. I remember saying to her, like, because I couldn't go home and sleep, I would sleep at my in-laws, which is just around the corner.
Yeah.
And I remember to the point of Saturday night going, all right, I'm going to go home. It's almost midnight. I'll come back in the morning. I'll see you in the morning. And I gave her a kiss, and I put my hand on her belly, and I gave James a kiss, and I felt a little kick, and that's it. Is what it is. And then I get home, have a sleep, and at about 6 a.m. Sunday morning, the phone rings. My father-in-law, and as soon as the phone rang, my eyes just shot open. I knew something was up. So I was like, bang, and all I heard was, we're going to get to the hospital. So we get to the hospital, and it's funny how you remember little things. What's that? Your son would know this song for certain, Ed Sheeran, and he's like, I'm on my way. Yep.
Driving down those country.
After we lost our son, I literally could not listen to Ed Sheeran for 3 years. Like, I couldn't listen to him whatsoever. So we get there, run up the stairs. Actually, sorry, I'll tell a lie. I didn't go up the stairs. I took the lift. I got to the elevator, went in, and it's like 6:45 in the morning, and I'm banging on the glass door because you can't get in there till 8 a.m. or something. Bang, and they let me in. I fly into the room, and my wife's just sitting there, and she's sobbing. And I knew. And she goes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I remember walking over and holding my wife so tight. And then after that, my mother-in-law walked in, and I walked out of the room. There was this little nurse. She'd only been on this ward, which overlooks the Botanic Gardens. She'd only been on there for it was the second week on the job, but it was the first time she'd seen anyone who'd lost a baby. Let me tell you, I unloaded on this girl saying, what the fuck happened? Explain it, rah, what the fuck's going on? Like, losing it. And like 2 hours after the fact, I felt like a piece of shit. I went back and actually hugged her. I apologised because obviously going through a bit of a stressful situation, I completely unloaded on this girl. And I just remember sitting there with my wife and her just sobbing and her just saying to me, I'm so sorry. I'm like, you can't blame yourself. Like, what's meant to be is meant to be, Although at that point in time, I probably wasn't seeing that eye. Hindsight's a beautiful thing. I remember going down. We were up there for about 2 hours, and I remember going downstairs, and just out the front of the hospital, there's this little area, and everyone goes there for a cigarette. So I went there for a cigarette, and I'm just standing there, and I'm fucking sobbing. And this bloke just walks outside, and he's wearing a shirt. Remember back in the day, they used to have those "Keep Calm," blah blah blah. blah.
Oh yeah.
And he's wearing a shirt that says "Keep Calm, I'm having twins." First thing that came to my mind was I wiped my eyes, I turned around, I looked at this bloke, I said, "Mate, how's your wife and your twins going?" That was the first question I asked to someone after just finding out I lost my son. And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh, mate," he goes, "they came real early, wife's doing good, little ones are in the NICU." And I looked at him, I went, "Bro, I'm so happy for you." And he goes, how's your missus and the one going?" And I'm looking at this guy and I went, I literally found out 45 minutes ago our son had passed away. And I remember him, I've never seen this bloke again. And I hope he listens to this. I'd love him to get in contact with me. He comes up and he goes, "Bloke, I don't know you, but I just need to." And there's just me and this guy just down there hugging each other. One's having the most highest adulation of being a father, and then the other one is there because he's just lost his son. And I remember that moment as it's a pivotal moment in my life that I'll never forget. That you sit there and go, "Fuck this bloke." I felt so happy for him, but I was so down on myself. And that's where mental health, it's just an absolute demon because after that, I remember my wife, she still had to give birth. We had to sit there and go through the whole fucking, they said we can do a cesarean or we can do natural. My wife goes, "Let's do it natural." I'm like, how fucking strong is this woman? Is she fucking, she's serious? And went through the whole birthing process. We got to spend time with our son. And, we were there with him overnight. And we were there with him the next day. But obviously he was born still. And it was one of the most unique situations. I remember my wife goes, "Fuck, I'm going for a cigarette." I'm like, "Fuck, after everything? What you think I'm going to argue with you about you going for a cigarette?" "Honey, go." I remember I'm just sitting there, I'm just holding my lifeless son. And I just remember the happiness I felt for being able to hold him. But the sadness of the what ifs. It's what would he be like when he grows up? How would he interact with his cousins? How would he be with his grandparents? What would he be like with his dad? What would he be like with his mum? So my amazing wife, she within 5-6 weeks, she was ready to go again. Probably took me a good 2 years for me to actually even talk about it. And it was difficult. But one of the beautiful things is, and this is probably the power of social media. My wife started an Instagram page to discuss how her and I met, because we had a bit of a whirlwind romance. We were together 9 weeks and got engaged. So she's gone through our whole story of us going to have a son, of meeting, getting married, us trying to have children, us losing a child. And then eventually, by the thanks of God, we got our beautiful son, Luca, who's now 2.5 and just dominates absolutely everything in our lives.
Outstanding, isn't it?
It is. He's 2.5 and he's the size of a 4-year-old. He's just gigantic. And, again, when she was pregnant with Luca, I was a nervous wreck the whole time. The whole time, because you're sitting there, you're going to scans and going, fuck, let me see a heartbeat. Let me see a heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me see a heartbeat.
You get so nervous at those, don't you?
Yeah.
Like I went to every single one with my wife when we had the first kid, and like that was my fear that I, and every time the nurse would be, just let me jiggle here a bit and jiggle there, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on?
Do you know what? They're forceful at those scans. They're like, I'm like, fucking, are you all there? You're gonna crush my son's head in. But like, I remember because I mean, we lost James. We had another miscarriage. We had a stillborn. We had
So you had another stillborn after James?
No. So I think it was a couple of miscarriages. Then it was James. Then we didn't do too much. Then we decided to go down the IVF route. So when we went down the IVF route, I think we did 2 rounds. No good. I mean, and it's not cheap.
No.
It's not cheap. You've got IUI and then you've got IVF. IUI is the cheap turkey-based one, is what I call it.
Yeah, we did 3 rounds of them.
Yeah, and to me, it's just like throwing darts at a dartboard and hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
And then we did the 2 rounds of IVF, but we didn't get it. Now, my beautiful wife, one thing that I will never understand is the strength of mums and women in general. She's tortured her body doing injections like Stamati spoke about.
Yep.
Activations, that,
it's
and
ridiculous.
the other. It's just mental. And she then went and goes, one of the doctors said, look, there has been signs of, my wife was a bigger girl. They said, look, weight loss surgery can also help reset a woman's body to have a child. And we were like, my wife went, all right, let's do it. Like, didn't even think. She was just like, yep, I want to do it. Okay, cool. But it wasn't just for the health message. It was just, I want this baby.
See, and that like I know a lot of couples who have struggled with having children, conceiving and all that, but they will turn the world upside down and do anything that is required to have that child. But then I also know some other people, the thought of IVF or the thought of anything, they don't want a bar of it. But they want a kid, but they're not willing to put the effort into it.
The only way I can kind of explain it is, mate, it was my wife's show and I was just riding along on the coattails of it.
Mate,
That's what birthing
That's
is.
Yeah.
We're just the, I like
We're
to
the
say I'm the
donors.
third wheel.
Yeah, we're the donuts, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, Stamati, I wet myself listening. I think it was White Christmas.
For the IVF.
Episode,
Yeah.
White Christmas. I'm sitting there going to Stamati. I rang him after I listened to the episode. I said, I remember walking into that little dark room after this.
After someone else left,
after
you go
this other
in.
bloke's gone in, and you're just standing there, and I'm looking at this couch, and I'm going, how many babies have been made on this couch by a single man holding a cup? Like, there's no wipes, there's no niente. Like, you walk in with a brown bag,
Box of tissues,
a
right?
box of
That's it.
tissues, and a checklist of what time did you come. And I'm like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like, do I need to get? And I was even smart enough to put it to the second. Like, I've come to look straight at the watch, going, yep, all right, perfect, timed it, done. And it's just that little room. You just sit there and go,
No, because you want to get a spot on though.
yeah, you have to get a spot on. Is there any spillage? I'm like, fucking, mate, do you think I was looking down at the cup while I was just sitting there having the greatest triple backhander of my life? No. Like, it's the most, and the worst thing is, it's that pressure too.
Oh, man.
Because mate, after this one, mate, you've wiped plenty off on a towel before, but this one's actually going to create you a child.
So, question, did you use your phone or the supplied magazines?
I used my phone with private material.
Private material.
I didn't use P-Hub like Smutty. It's an interesting journey. So my wife had a weight loss surgery and she dropped about 50, 60 kilo. And I mean, my wife was always gorgeous to me no matter what.
Are you trying to score brownie points here?
I don't need to.
Valentine's Day's 3 days away.
Yeah.
Actually, we had that discussion and I said, look, have you bought anything for Valentine's Day? She goes, no, have you? I went, no, let's not worry about it this year.
It's the best when you have that agreement.
And we just looked and went, agreed. But I know she'll do something. And the good thing is...
how do you think I feel? My 10-year wedding anniversary is the day after Valentine's Day.
That's the worst.
I'm a typical Greek man. I did my wedding the day after Valentine's because the roses were cheaper.
Of course you did. Of course you did. What? But
my cousin got married on Valentine's Day, poor bastard.
that's the worst.
Yeah.
How, you know what? And he's usually an intelligent man. That's an unintelligent decision, that one.
No. And it was like 43 degrees on his wedding day.
This is what concerns me as well, having these weddings in these hot temperatures. But just to finalise, the wife had the weight loss surgery, and it was literally almost a year to the day. She gets a phone call from her IVF place, and they said to her, when we were doing the insemination of the embryos, they said, we opted to do a experimental way of doing it. Well, they turned around and said, well, we've destroyed too many embryos. How would you like to get a free round on us?
Was that the same time as when that big blackout happened?
Similar, I think.
Okay.
Similar, I
I
think.
think I remember now.
And I said to Rez, I go, well, if they're fucked up, maybe we get cash out of this. She goes, or we get a baby. And I was like, all right, let's get a baby. So we went through the free round of IVF, and that's the one I got my son on. I couldn't believe it. I was like, of course I'm going to get it, not on the one where I've spent the cash, but
On the free one.
But the free one.
free
So
one.
I'm making sure I keep a tally for him on his 18th birthday, and he will be handed that bill with great pleasure.
You owe me $40,000.
$40K, plus the fact I couldn't get my toy car, plus I couldn't get a fishing boat. I mean, even though you
Plus
probably say
interest.
no, plus interest.
Plus interest.
You're basically working for me for the rest of your life. It's simple as that.
Yeah, and I said to Katrina, we're going to buy him his first car. I'm like, fuck no, he cost me 20 grand.
Yeah.
No, thank you. You can buy your own bloody car. Dimitri can get a car.
Yeah.
It was easy. Theodore, sorry, champ.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Poor Teddy.
Me, I had no fucking I'm not not to be cocky about it. I'm not unfortunate like many people. I literally, twice had sex in my life, and twice I've got fucking kids from it.
Mate, some people have the golden balls, you know what I mean? So maybe we should just get... I mean, this is how far it went for me to have a child. Stamati's mum gave us oil from the monastery in Greece to rub on my wife's belly for us to have a
Probably
baby.
from my monastery.
Yeah.
That's how my mum, I was...
Which one?
Aia Irini Chriso Valandu.
No, I don't know which one she gave you.
That's the prime place in Greece where you get oil.
They have to crawl up the stairs,
No, that's from Rhodes. That's in Rhodes.
Rhodes.
We did that one.
Yeah.
That is, and on our honeymoon, we walked up those stairs. It was like fucking stinking hot, and Katrina was having like thick asthma attacks. She ran out of fucking Ventolin as well. But she wanted to go all the way up. You drink the water, and then you're supposed to.
Okay. No, I don't know about that one.
So technically my son is part Greek as far as I'm concerned.
Well, with all the other,
He's a holy one.
He is a holy
with all the other nationalities that you figured out that you are.
Yeah, there's a few of them now.
We'll get into that story in a
Yeah,
sec.
that's another good one as well, actually.
So Benny's mother unfortunately passed away, and he wanted to do like an ancestry check.
I was always curious on who my dad was. Mum used to tell me one bloke, my brothers used to tell me something else, and I was like,
So you never met your dad?
Nah, I never met my dad. And one of my best mates, Michael, his wife Carla, has been the instigator of this for a few years. We always said we were going to do a reveal party. You can come dressed up as what you think I'm going to be. So when my mum passed away, I thought, well, hang on, it's time. Let's have a look. Right? My wife's old boss, who remains close friends with us till today, she said, look, I don't want to buy you flowers because flowers will die and that'll make you sad. How about I buy you an ancestry kit? I went, best. All right, let's do it. So you get it, you spit into it. It's like going through IVF all over again. It's like you're spitting into. Thank God, because that tube was really little. That tube was really little, and you didn't know if you spat too much, not enough.
Yeah.
So and you get it, and you send it off, and you're sitting there, and you're waiting.
How long?
It was about 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh,
fucking hell. It goes to, like, I'm sitting there thinking, it'll go to some lab here in Australia or maybe the US. It goes to Ireland.
Wow.
I was like, fuck, are you kidding me? These blokes who like potatoes and stuff are going to be the ones who are actually going to tell me what my ancestry is.
Potatoes and stout beer.
Yeah, actually, there's nothing wrong with stout beer. I'm fond of a Guinness. But,
Why not?
So you get a notification and it's like, your results are here. So I got
Email?
it's an email. I get friends, family, get them all on a group call. So your sister was on the group call too.
I copped the call. He goes, guess what I am?
And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, like, for years we've gone, mate, anyone that looks at me will go, oh, you Italian? Yeah, I'm Italian. You Greek? Yeah, I'm Greek. You Lebo? Yellow brother. Absolutely. You know, but that's because I've grown up with ethnics my whole life. And I'm sitting there going, I reckon I'm going to be one of them. Open it up. I'm like, okay, there's mum's side, there's English, there's Scottish. And I'm like, okay. Then it comes to my dad's side. Indiani. And I went, no.
Indian to you?
I am 30, I think it's 30% Northern Indian, 15% Southern Indian. And I looked at it and my wife, with the greatest smile on her face, goes, maybe that's why you work in a call centre. And
Marissa!
Oh, yes.
and in my moment of despair, I've just looked at her. I go, I don't know what you're laughing about. Your surname's about to be Kaur. So, I found out I was Indiani. And my best mate, Mick, he has been saying ever since I've known him, he goes, mate, you're Indian. I'm like, I'm not fucking Indian, man. He goes, I've seen you drive. You look like a cabbie. I'm not a cabbie.
Okay, like I'm a bit bedazzled here.
Yes.
So your mum
All right, look, I'll put it politely.
did it with this bloke?
Yes. So
And she never told you he was Indian?
No, so this is what I was told. I was told that my mum slept with the bloke. They kept in touch for a little bit, and there was maybe 2 or 3 letters. When mum passed away, we obviously went through everything, and I found about 17 letters, found a couple of birthday cards, but then I found another 2 letters from someone else. The thing that concerned me the most was they were both referring to me as, how is our son Ben? So I'm going, well, who the fuck's my dad? I'm like, who's your daddy? And I'm like, I don't know, it's one of the 2. You know, one's got a Spanish name, and I'm sitting there going, oh, maybe I'm Spanish, or is he Filipino, or is he what? So
Were you any Spanish? Did you have any Spanish in you?
no Spanish. So I
English?
Was,
Oh,
English,
obviously, yeah. So
English
your mum.
definitely.
Yep.
Which is good because I'm predominantly English. I'm 55% of European descendant. So yeah, we did that, and we did that last year, and that was definitely a bit of a shock.
Did you ever try to find where he lived?
So I used Ancestry is actually quite good. It's one of the biggest databases in the world when it comes to DNA. So obviously, look, all I had was I had a name. I didn't have a date of birth. I had a name, and I'd known places where he'd lived. So
But you said you had 2 letters.
there were 2 letters
From 2 different guys?
2 different blokes.
So you went on a hunt for both of them?
No,
just the
I
one?
waited until I did that. Or technically, once I saw the 2 letters, I started doing the Facebook searches to see what would come up. And I'm literally scrolling through hundreds of people going, do you look like me? Do you look like me? Do you look like me? And there was a few that did look like me. And I probably shouldn't have messaged them because I've probably destroyed marriages across the world now. But once I got the DNA test and that came back, I went, okay, it's got to be this bloke. The surname's about right. Definitely fits the heritage profile. So we've basically started hunting down. I've gone through records and stuff. Nothing yet. But it's expensive, man. Like those ancestry things, it's about $200 every 3 months that you got to pay to keep that thing going.
Oh, wow.
$200. So I'm like,
So it's subscription based.
it's $800 a year. And I'm like, look, I haven't seen Dad in 38 years. I've never met my father. Is it worth the $800? Am I missing? Unless the bloke's like an Elon Musk. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. Look, it'd be nice to know my side.
He could have been your boss while you were in a call center.
Oh, do you know what? That would have been the best. It was funny though when we got married. We had a Indian priest at the Catholic Church in Hectorville. His name was Father Anthony.
Yeah, good bloke.
And my brothers, like, I don't need enemies. I have my brothers. They are the sickest, twisted, best sense of humour blokes you'd meet. They're coming up and they're going, "Oh, mate, you reckon the priest is your dad?" And I'm like, going, "Can you stop?" So the way I was introducing everyone, the priest, everyone, I'm like, "Everyone, this is my father, Anthony." And they're like, "Is this your dad?" And I go, "No, this is Father Anthony." And they're like, "Oh God, you're an idiot. Please." My wife was just going to slap me on my wedding night.
That's good. That is fantastic. So your brothers don't share the same dad then?
No, 3 different dads, or as far as we're aware, 3 different dads, over 6 different lads. I reckon it's probably about 4 different dads, over 6 different dads. But we've never, like, growing up in our family, it's never been, "Oh, that's my half brother."
Yeah.
We've always been, "Oh, that's my brother. That's my brother. That's my brother." And we're all pretty close, most of us. Yeah, it's something that, you know, especially being the youngest of 6 boys, it's you tend to get picked on as the little one.
Well, you're not the little one anymore, are you?
I'm 6'1" and 140 kilos, and I still get the piss taken out of me. It doesn't have to be my brothers; it could be my nieces, my nephews, my great nieces or nephews. Because, you know, I'm just that one in the family that, you know, I'll ring every birthday and I'll scream down the phone, "Happy birthday."
Oh, yes.
And,
the yearly calls.
I do it to Stamati, I do it to everyone. I will ring those ones I love.
And like he'll wait till like late at night too, like when you're sort of dozing off.
Yeah.
Happy
birthday.
Benny.
I know. And they know it's coming too. Like my nephews will be with his mates and, you know, they're 32 and they've got kids. And, you know, I'll ring him and go, "All right, dickhead, go on." And that's it. I'll just start screaming. It doesn't matter where I am. Like, I have zero shame. I'm the type of guy that'll stop my wife in the middle of a shopping centre and just start dancing with her. And she's like, "You're a dickhead. You're an absolute dickhead."
Yep. So, you said that most of your brothers, you're close.
Yeah. Look, and this is probably another thing that I know you guys have kind of mentioned over a few episodes is, unfortunately, drugs has touched my family. Look, we were young, we all partied, we all had fun. But unfortunately, with one of my brothers, the lines got blurred between what was party and what was normal day-to-day life.
Reality, yeah.
100%. You're talking about a guy that was highly intelligent, ran a multi-million-dollar finance company, to the point where he's now homeless. And cocaine, methamphetamine, it just destroyed him. And the problem with it is, like, I know friends, most of us have partied and had some fun. You either got to stop it, you got to stop, or you're just going to go down your own path and be self-destructive. When people try to reach out to help you, "Nah, I don't have a problem. I'm okay. And then even now to the point where it's, "You need help." "No, I don't. I'm okay." You're living on the street. Like, it's from a guy that was driving Maseratis, wearing Xenia suits, holidaying to the south of France for, 6 to 8 weeks of the year, to
Live next door to Andrew McLeod.
Live next door to Andrew McLeod, to literally now living on the streets.
Yep.
But when you start to realise that money is thicker than blood, that's when you're and you burn those sorts of bridges. There's no coming back from that, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's fucked. Drugs are taking a very big course of negative pathways in a lot of people's lives, and once someone is on it and addicted to it, there's it's a very slim chance of finding them a way out.
But the problem is a lot of them don't realise they have a problem. Like they actually don't. They actually think they're okay. Right? I know plenty of people that are like functional alcoholics. Like I know guys that are train flat out. Healthiest people, like you look at them and they're completely ripped. Right? However, they would consume more beer, they would kill a goat than anything, right? On a daily basis. But they can do that every day. I reckon if they actually stopped, they would die. They'd have medical issues. But with drugs, people don't understand, like, it starts off with on the weekends. Then, we'll have a cheeky Thursday session. Then all of a sudden, Thursday, Friday and Saturday are blurred into one. The next minute you're doing it every day and it's no longer fun. Right? And you're starting to get conspiracy theories about your family, your friends, and
when drugs escapes the for fun level, and then goes to the next level, which is the need for it to feel good, and then you get to the further level where it's like, okay, I just need it. It's not for fun or to feel good. It's just I need it.
Because when you have it, you go on the downer. So to avoid that downer, you keep on taking it.
And I sit there and I go, look, I'm 39 years old now. Look, you go out, you have some fun, la, la, la. But, like, you get to a point in your life where you go, I sit there and I realise that, I'm 39 now. And my brother was probably at the stage, he would have been 35, 36, right? And I mean, like, I'm talking, the bloke had a business that literally printed his own money.
He sponsored
Central District.
Major sponsor. The Oval was named after his business.
Oh, wow.
Like, we're talking buildings in the city, like
billboards. And
he's lost the business, or someone else has taken it over?
No, he just lost it.
The problem is, he got paranoid. Who's doing this? Who's doing that? And, that paranoia lasted for 10, 12 years, even to this day, and like I rarely speak to this brother now. And look, that's my own choice. Obviously when he was looking after mum before mum passed away, and I said to my mum, I said, look, I'll try to do my best thing for him. I'll put my issues aside for him if you pass away and try and help him out and, get him on the straight and narrow for you. And I promise that I'll give that a shot. And I definitely did. But unfortunately, the pressure got to him as it all does when different people react under grief. And unfortunately, he just upped and left and, left everything to do with mum to basically me and my brothers. So it was what it was, and, you sit there and go, look, I can't give you financial help, but I can give you direction on what to do. You know what I mean? I've got a wife, I've got a kid, I've got a mortgage. We have bills, and I make sure my bills are paid on time before anything, and my wife and child are fed before anything, Obviously, I'm not broke because I'm not skinny, but, I'm doing okay, but I haven't got the sort of money where I can just hand money out to other people. And it's a shame because, this brother gave me everything, He literally, and he did, he gave me everything. He gave me my first car, WRX. And then, we had scooters that we used to cruise around on with billboards on it and, fly here, there and everywhere, go book out hotels and just have a laugh. And, would I love to be able to do that? Absolutely. Would I love to be able to pay that back? Absolutely. But would I? Probably not. Yeah. Only because of the experience that I went through with him. And, to the point of, do I wish ill upon him? Probably if you asked me a few years ago, absolutely, I probably would have. But now, no. I just want him to be happy in his own life, him to be able to do what he needs to do to clean himself up. And, you know, I've got friends that have, you know, gone on the pipe, or other mates that have been on the coke, or other friends that have been on the juice. And it's just, you know, last year I lost a really good friend of mine, and I hadn't spoken to him for a couple of years, but he'd reached out to me probably 3 weeks before he passed away, and he died of a heart attack. He was 34 years old.
Wow.
34, 33. He was only a young man. I'm sitting there going, fuck, I'm 39. Like, you know, we all partied together back in the day, and you sit there and go, there is more to life than it. You know, there's, yes, it's good fun, it's great night, this, that, and the other, but some people just go too far, and those people are the ones that'll try and drag you down the most.
Yeah, and you got to make sure you got, you know, wife and kid, man. You know, you got to make
100%.
sure you come home to them.
Your it's funny, your priorities do change. Like, I'll still go out and do stupid shit. I'll go out and, you know, I'm a car guy. I love going on car cruises. I love going for drives up in the hills. I drive responsibly. And, you know, I'll head out to the Bend, for example, to go racing. You know, my eldest brother said to me, he goes, mate, you got a nice car. Why would you go and do that? And because I love doing that. That's my relief valve. You know, some people smoke crack pipes. I smoke tyres. That's what I like. You know, and you've got to find that relief valve, because, I mean, I find that day to day, our lives are a lot more stressful.
Yeah, absolutely.
But our parents did this. Like, my mum raised her kids on her own, right? That would have been stressful, but fucking, I don't see my mum having to, you know, have. Well, actually, I did probably see my mum have her relief valves, but, you know, like, I go fishing. Mate, I'll sleep for 2 hours, get in a car and drive 2 hours or 5 hours and go fishing. Sitting on a jetty in the middle of nowhere with no one else around me at 2 a.m. in the morning, the best. You just sit there and you don't think of anything else, but you do get to listen to a few good podcasts.
Yeah, even better now with two blokes, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
that's
look
it,
forward
mate.
to watching this one next Sunday night when I'm sitting on a jetty going, Jesus, I sound terrible.
So far, so good. You've been great. But you're right. I think it's very important as a human being who's always on the go, because that's what life is now. Life is all about always on the go.
We don't stop.
We don't stop. And, like, you know, I've got a pretty stressful job by day. Then I've got, you know, kids commitment. I've got work on the weekends. It doesn't stop. So, you know, I have to find that peace for my mind sometimes, you know, and to me,
Fly your drone, mate.
yeah, my relief, yeah, that's right. My relief would be going out on a nice day, flying my drone for an hour, getting some nice, you know, footage of whatever I'm over, or maybe sitting at home just quietly playing video games by myself, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't get the opportunity. My son has found out what PlayStation is now. And, I mean, it's funny, talking to a 2.5-year-old is literally like talking to a crackhead. Going, no, you can't touch this, but I want it. I must have it.
And that's why you buy them a Switch.
Yeah, but at 2.5, you reckon it's too early?
It's not too early if you want to save your
your own
PlayStation.
time.
Yeah. Nah, see, I mean, he's already got. I was talking to you about this once I became a dad. I said, it's funny how these little humans like this. He would have been, you know, maybe 18 months ago. They can try. He's taken over 2 cars. He's taken over the entire house. He's taken over my backyard. I mean, and all of his shit is everywhere. And I'm sitting there going, I don't remember doing this when I was a kid.
And he kicks you out of your own bed.
Oh, my own bed. Oh, that's the best one. Like, we probably made the cardinal mistake of, you know, first time parents, you know, we just want to sleep. Please let me sleep. Do you know what? Just come into mummy and daddy's bed. No. But he's now 2.5 and won't get the fuck out. Now, if I want to make him a brother and sister, let me tell you, the best contraception is a 2.5-year-old drooling and snoring in between you and your wife. Right? And I feel sorry for my wife because, excuse me, my son wants nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing. Does not care about me or anything that I do unless I lay on the ground, unless I pick up a PlayStation controller and that's about it.
Yeah.
He is mummy.
I have the same problem in my house to the point where the wife gets frustrated because all they do is call mum.
Yep.
I mean, I've said this on the podcast before. I was standing in the kitchen right next to the fridge, right? And both my boys were on the couch. My wife was on the other end of the house doing something in our bedroom. And all of a sudden you just hear, Mum, can you get me a cup of water? And I just turned around to my oldest and I said, mate, I'm right here.
Dude.
I'm right here. No. Like literally. Oh yeah, but mum pours a better cup of water. It's fucking water. I'm not making a fucking coffee. It's water. All I'm going to do is get the cup, pour it in from the bottle in the fridge and give it over to you. Yeah, but it's not like mum's. Oh my God.
Mate, she blesses it in 17 different ways that you just do not.
Oh my God.
It's even like we took Theodore back to swimming because like over the winter break, we just do like a winter break because taking the kids out in the middle of the winter after swimming is just a fucking disaster. So we went to a different swimming centre now. Much better, like a bit more.
Which one you going to?
So we'll go to the one at Findon at the start. But it's just too many kids to the class, one sort of teacher. Now we're going to West Lakes, much smaller pool.
Sounds fancy though.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, it is. No, it's a smaller pool and like they have like maybe 2 or 3 kids to one class. So it's killer. So we took it back, not last week before, and I went in the water and Theodore was fucking freaking out. Like the whole session was him just like crying, kicking, screaming, like just, I was like, oh my God, this is a disaster. And I'm like, look, the next Saturday I'm working. Like, so you got to take him. Mate, he goes, he was a fucking prince, mate. Didn't cry. No. Didn't nothing. He was like kicking his legs and his arms and this and that. I'm like, yeah, because you fucking took him. That's why.
But it's true. Boys,
mummy's boys, mate.
Mate, boys are mummy's boys, and apparently girls are daddy's girls. You know, and my wife and I had the discussion if we have another baby, what we'd like. Look, I'm not going to lie and say, look, I'd love 2 boys, but deep down, I really want a girl because in that way, you know, I don't mind.
The pigeon pair.
I will sit down and I'll play teacups if I have to play teacups. If I have to do dress ups and do hair knots and this sort of shit, I don't mind.
You might have to grow some hair for that.
Oh, mate, don't. Please don't. I'm 39 and I'm already bald. And it's been probably a few years now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I can't even remember you with hair.
No, it's been a while. It's probably been a good 4 years, but you know what? I just feel free about it. It's just there's something about it when you freshly shave your head and then your 2.5-year-old comes up and just slaps it. It just makes it sound. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Now, boys, I did bring a little present in for you.
He did.
Right. Thanking my beautiful wife and the beautiful folks down at Pasta Deli. I brought in some beautiful fresh Zeppelis. So please make sure.
Just pop that up to the camera so the camera can see. There we go. There we go. Fresh Zeppelis.
Well, to be fair, there's another 4 sitting at home, but they were the custard ones, and they're my favourite ones, so I wasn't sharing them with you.
So we get the reject ones.
You just get the plain boys, sorry.
Oh, mate. What's going on here? No custard one? Is that a custard one there?
Oh, do you know what? It looks like there is a sneaky... Oh, did I pick up the custards maybe? Maybe I did. Maybe I'm a good bloke after all.
Joke's on you, mate.
Where were we at? I've completely forgotten now. Or have we just finished our topic?
Yeah, I think we finished the topic.
All right.
But I know like we're going back, but you know how you were saying that you know after James, you remember that song. I had the same thing.
It's fucking hectic.
So, you know, so we lost our daughter, and then the next day I'm like I can't stay here. Like we got to get out of here. And I remember we went around the back, down the elevator. And my father-in-law picked us up, and it was I just felt numb. Like we were just carrying these suitcases.
And you're just getting into the car.
Just getting back into the car. Where is the love, Black Eyed Peas?
Oh, that's fucked.
All right. And it was at that, what's that line? people hurt, people dying, children hurt. People. Anyway, there was a line.
People hurt and people dying.
Children hurt, and you hear them crying.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. Like, and every time I hear that song now,
It's terrible.
The waterworks.
Like we, I remember, like, and it should say, like, I remember I was ringing a sister and I get the message and I was like, nah. And I remember it just brought back absolutely everything. Because when we said farewell to James, we just did us, just me and my wife. That's all I wanted, right? And I remember, like, I've known Stamati since he was literally a child. Like, I mean, there's only a couple of years between us, but he's literally like a little brother. And to sit there and go, fucking, to have to experience that with someone that close, it was fucking terrible. But, and I remember coming to the funeral and everything, and it was just fucking, I just remember sobbing, man, for a couple of good days. And it just, it broke my heart. And we probably got a little bit closer after that because we could relate to each other. I mean, like, you get people that come over and go, they're in a, sorry to hear, they're in a better place.
All that sort of
I'm like,
stuff.
fucking mate, no, there's no better place than fucking in my arms.
Yeah.
There is no better place than in my arms.
Look, and you
But
get understand
like,
people.
I haven't gone through that, right?
Yeah.
I haven't gone through that, but I hate that. I hate that word. Yes, if you were to say they're in a better place and the person that you're burying was 90 odd years old, they've lived their life, they've seen grandchildren get married, they've fucking had a great time.
They've done it all.
They're in a better place because they're not suffering anymore.
Yep.
But this child
Didn't
even have a chance to breathe air.
Yeah.
And they're in a better place.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually fucking mental. And like, but what can you say to someone?
Look, they're trying. They've got their best interests at
absolutely.
heart.
Why can't we just stick to my sympathies for your loss?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm sorry for your loss.
But and the worst thing is, I know how you feel. What do you mean you know how I feel?
No.
Like,
And this is probably coming from someone who's never had kids.
And I sit there and like it was, I remember our first conversation. I reckon it was probably 2 days after. And I remember our conversation and I was just like, Stamats, no matter what, if you need anything, and I don't care if it's fucking 4 a.m., you ring me. Because I know exactly how you feel. And he knew I meant exactly those words. We would talk no matter what.
Yeah. And like, obviously like to say it, but like when something like that happens, you know who your true mates are after that. I had people offering to pay for the funeral, people just bringing me food, people just knocking on my door and I'd be getting up and there's just a plate of food and they're gone. Shit like that. Or the phone calls, the this, the that, and
But then there's others on the other side of the ledger that, eventually you'll get over it. What do you mean you're
they're
fucking-
not human.
Yeah, what do you mean?
They're not human.
And like, my mum, bless her soul, one of my brothers, I think he's the third one, he passed away from SIDS. So, to sit there and go with your mum and go, I know how it feels to lose a son and she knows how it feels to lose a son. It was like a weird bond that we had,
Did you know about it?
About my brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, I learnt about that when I was young.
Okay.
So she had other kids too.
Yeah, so there's in total there's Andrew, Philip, Gary, Nathan, and me. And Peter was the one that passed away. He was the third one. He was only a few months old. He'd passed away from SIDS. So, but to sit there and go, like, fucking what a thing to share with your mum that you've both lost children. Like, and honestly, it's the fucking worst thing. Like, I still to this day, I find it difficult to drive past the Women's and Children's Hospital, and it's the side of the hospital that faces the parklands, and it's the second or the third level. I know every single fucking time that I drive past there at night and I see a light on, I know what that family's going through. And it's fucking terrible, but the support network they had in there, it's amazing.
See, that's the great thing about the hospitals, that they've got the people ready to go for those particular
But they need more.
reasons. Oh, of course they do. They're very underfunded, and I get what you mean. But, again, I haven't gone through it, but having spoken to you two, I could only just imagine what that feels like.
It's like completely numb. Completely numb.
It's fucking. It's weird, and like I remember my son's initials was James, named after his grandfather and his great grandfather on my wife's side. My brother Philip was his middle name, and obviously had my surname. So his initials were JPS. And my brother, when he first found out, my brother and I, Philip, we are massive Formula One fans. Remember the old Johnny Player special stickers that used to be on the Formula One cars? We had a sticker for that, and we are going to put it in his room. When he passed away, let me tell you, one of the weirdest sensations is meeting a funeral director and having to plan out a casket and walking in and seeing this casket, and it's literally fucking not much
tiny.
Not much bigger than a shoebox. So I'm sitting there going, the bloke who fucking made this, if he's not crying, he's inhuman. Like, I couldn't even do that. And I put the JPS sticker on there. And, like, I have my sons, I know you buried your daughter, and we had our son cremated, and we've got him at home. And, now we've got Luca. He's starting to, he'll go, we've got a beautiful little plaque. There's I don't know if they came and saw you. There was a company called Walking with Wings.
Walking with Wings, we got it.
With Wings, awesome organisation. Like, fucking, I could not thank them highly enough.
Hands and feet.
They came and took hand casts and foot casts of my son, and I have them at home with his ashes.
Yep.
With a little plaque with his name. So he's always with us. His birthday is always going to be the same. It's always going to be the 5th of March. We'll never forget it. We'll always celebrate it. And look, it was hard for me for the first couple of years, because if I was in a group setting like we are now and we're having this discussion, I'd be fucking sobbing, or I'd barely even speak about it. My wife could talk openly about it. It was only once after Marissa started putting up our story on Insta that I went, fuck, it's okay to talk about it. And I even had to go, I literally only went for one session, and I didn't even realise that I'd actually booked it on his second birthday, his second memoriam. I don't like to call it a memoriam now. I'll call it his birthday. And, I went and I was free. I just felt, free, relaxed from it, and I could finally let it go, because I held on to it for 2 years. Like, you know how hard it is when, like, I have the most, obviously I didn't grow up with my dad. My brothers have been my dads and I love them dearly. But with Father's Day, I get to celebrate my father-in-law. Mate, I worship the ground that gentleman walks on. If I turn out to be half the husband and half the father he is, I am truly, truly a remarkable man. Every Father's Day, especially the first one, fuck, you think I wanted to go out? I just wanted to sit at home, fucking pull the blankets over my head and just sob.
That was like me when I used to go to weddings and used to see the father-daughter dance.
Oh, that's the worst.
I was like, every time, I reckon for like, a couple of years after, even now, like I started to get a bit teary when I see a father, I'm like, fuck, I'll never have that. And I almost had it.
Yeah.
And even like when you're saying dates as well, like we found out, like we had our first scan of Theodore on Danielle's first birthday.
I remember.
So just how everything worked out was just like, fucking hell, it's...
But it truly is like, I've grown up in a different sort of home setting to most, Italians or Greeks. Their families are very heavily family orientated, right? But to me, and not growing up without my dad, but I had my brothers that were amazing and they created the man that I am today, and I thank them for that. But I sit there and go, to me, the greatest blessing in life, you could be rich, you could do this, you could do, I don't give a shit what you are. a dad is the greatest privilege you can have in your life.
100%.
My brother, I remember my two brothers were having an argument. You know, one of my brothers turned around and goes, the one that unfortunately fell to drugs, he turned around and said to my eldest brother, he goes, you know, you'll never amount to nothing. You're just a commoner. And my eldest brother turned around and goes, you'll never amount to anything. I'm the greatest man in the world because I'm a father and I have a beautiful family. Do you know what? That always stuck with me.
Yeah.
Because I sit there and go, mate, honestly, I don't care how good a day, how bad a day. I go home, I see my beautiful wife, I see my beautiful son, I see our beautiful family home. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Like, I don't care. Like, yes, it'd be nice to have things. Do I want a fishing boat? Yes, I would love to. Do I want, a fast car? Absolutely. That'd be the greatest.
And that's what I said many times, that I think the most important thing in this life is the people within the four walls of my home.
100%.
That's all that matters.
100%.
Nothing else.
Yep.
Right?
And it was, who was it? It was actually one of your podcasts. I'm trying to remember who it was. Who's one of the other, he's on TikTok, la la la.
Oh,
George. Do you know what? I reckon I've now officially also stalked his entire TikTok catalogue. But I was
So you've seen the videos of the Aussie neighbour?
sometimes I think that's me. I was listening to something that he said, right? And probably over the last couple of weeks, I've become more conscious about it. Like, look, I'm a big boy. I've never been a skinny little lad. Maybe when I partied a little bit too much, I was a bit skinnier. But, I've always been a big boy, but I'm always happy, right? Yes, would I like to be able to wear some, maybe some skinny jeans or chinos and a nice tight fitting shirt? Yeah.
All right, don't turn Metro on us.
God, fuck. I'd get a yeast infection. But, I've got a good core group of mates that turn around and go, mate, you got to do something. You got to fucking pull your head out. You've got a little one. What happens if you have another?
Yeah.
You've got to be able, you don't want to be able to run around with your kids. My new job that I'm in now, it's quite physically demanding. You'd be surprised. But my poorest thing has always been my diet. It's fucking terrible. For Seps, why can't I have a Zeppeli?
Have a bite. What are you waiting for? There you go.
But he said something, and he said, one of my friends turned around and said, literally fucking pulled him out and said to him, you got to pull your head in. And it's funny. I've had mates do that in the past, and I've kind of dismissed it. But when I heard someone else say that, I went, fuck, those guys are actually trying to help me. And it's funny. You look around. I've noticed over the years my circle's gotten gradually smaller. And I like it like that now. But, those mates that have gone, mate, fucking pull your head in. You need to drop a couple of kilos. Okay, mate, you probably need to drop a few, but, here's just little steps. And the way I see two of the boys, Michael and Jay, they're cousins. Shout out to those boys. Mate, they've gone through massive body transformations. I'm actually fucking super proud of them, but I'm actually, I sit there and I go, fuck, I'm disappointed because I should have been on that journey with them because they offered me that journey. And I went, nah, I've got too much going on. Hey, fucking, you're not going to have a lot going on.
That's the thing. Look, obviously I'm a big boy too. And, the last few weeks I've been changing up things that I'm doing, my eating, I'm exercising a lot more. And it clicked to me a few weeks ago going, I need to pull my head in. No one tells me to pull my head in other than my mum.
Yeah.
Who she stuffs food down my throat and then turns around and says, oh, you need to lose weight. Wog mums.
Yeah, I know.
Wog mums.
That's why I love my mother.
But, a few weeks ago, I was just huffing and puffing and I was like, fucking hell, what's going on? I was literally feeling like a heart attack's about to happen, And soccer season starts, and I'm like, I've got 2 kids that are now playing soccer. 2 kids, and they're active motherfuckers.
How old are you now, Valundi?
I just turned 40.
Yeah, see, I'm 38. I turned 39 in March. And how old are your kids?
So James turns 8 in a few weeks,
Yeah.
in less than 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And Thanasi turns 6 in June.
So to put that in perspective with my son Luca, I would be 47 when he gets to, or actually 45 when he gets to your youngest age. And I'm sitting there going, fucking mate, if I want to run around play thing, you're absolutely right. You go for a brisk walk up a slight hill and fucking you gasp.
Like during the long school holidays, the Christmas holidays, every night the boys wanted to go from our house on their scooters to the park.
Yeah.
I'd be, yeah, all right, no worries. We'd get 3 houses down the road and I'd be like, oh, fuck, I've still got another kilometre to go. But my mindset's changed because I thought, no, you know what? I need to pull myself out. Unfortunately, unlike you, where you've got that mate that said you need to pull your head out, I don't have that. My mates are too...
dance around it.
they dance around it.
Mate, it's pretty simple.
They dance around it. Like, I don't have anyone saying to me, mate, you need to do something, which is why I've always been happy the way I am, because it's like, well, no one talks about it. But now it's gotten to the point where I know that I have to do something about it.
And that's when it's kind of, that's that light bulb moment, they call it, right? Where you're sitting there and you're going, fucking hell, like, you know, I used to go out, it didn't matter how big I was or whatever. You know, I've always been charismatic. I've always had a laugh, always had this, always had that. But then, like, when you've had a son and, like, I'm too paranoid to go into the pool with my son for his swimming lessons because I'm too big. I'm sitting there going, what the fuck have I done? You know? And the stark reality of it is if we don't do it, we're not going to see our kids grow up. And that's kind of... You know, I sit there, look, I don't train by any means. I could eat a lot cleaner and fucking look, I'm open to any suggestions. You know, I've got mates of mine that do full crash diets, calories counting.
Right. Keto, man. Yeah, I dropped like fucking 20 kilos in keto.
Yeah, but see, and like I've heard keto's good, but you fucking hear 400 different things and you don't know. And all of a sudden your head's gone fucking, you know what? Fuck, I need a Zeppelin.
Yeah, exactly. Have another bite. But it's true, though, that we get fed so much information from all these different people.
Yep.
We read different things. We look at different things, watch different videos. And then it gets to the point where it's so overwhelming in your mind where you're like, well, what the fuck am I meant to do to actually lose weight? Yep. I can't live my life eating cabbages all fucking week long.
No, it's not sustainable.
Right? Like, I can't do that. I can't do, like, a mate of mine went and done the water diet.
Oh, fuck, please.
Where he drinks water for 48 hours, nothing but water, and it's apparently... I'm like, that's a fucking load of shit.
You put it, as soon as you put something back in your mouth, you put it
Correct.
all back on. So
yeah. But the thing is, then you get people that go and do fucking saunas. You watch fucking MMA fighters that go from, 90 kilos and they've got to cut down to 70 kilos to fight, and they'll do it in fucking 4 days. And
but they're machines.
Yeah,
their
it's not
bodies are built for that.
Nah,
it's not sustainable, but... their body, us here, like me and you, we're the type of people that will literally, like, I'm smelling this Zeppeli and I'll put on weight.
It's terrible.
Just from the smell.
But that's what I mean. And you know what?
Try trying this.
Oh, how good is it? It's literally
enjoy it.
So bad.
It's fucking terrible. You're missing out. Take the other one home. We'll take them. But, like, it is. It's hard. And, like, you sit there and you go, like, cost of living now, it's a big thing, man. Like, I can't afford, like, as much as I know how important my health is, am I going to pick paying my bills or am I going to pick paying a personal trainer? Like, I can't afford a personal trainer.
Yeah, and they're fucking ridiculously expensive. $75 for half an hour.
Like, and, then you've got to go to a nutritionist, then you've got to do this, then you've got to do that, right? All I want is, hey, try this for this period of time. If it works, continue. Try this exercise regime, do this and do this. Perfect. I don't need you to hold my hand the whole way. The only person that's ever going to fucking motivate you is you.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
Yep.
Right?
It's all a mind game.
If you want to bust past it, like women, you know, they'll smoke non-stop. They get pregnant, fucking first thing they do is they stop smoking. But the second they've had that baby, fuck, I need a cigarette. I get you've just gone through a traumatic experience of giving birth and all, but please, fucking stay off the smokes. You know what I mean? I don't know how a person's brain... Like, if I could give up smoking tomorrow, fucking in a heartbeat. I've tried patches, I've tried nicotine. But, you know what? It's just my willpower's just not strong enough. I won't do it. But, like, you can't take everything away. You've got to have everything in moderation. You know what I mean? And it's coming to that point. And look, if there's anyone that listens to your show and... Mate, they want to make an example of me, fucking by all means, come and use me. Because you know what? I don't care what it is. Because I want to be there for my son. I want to be there for my future kids, if and when we have them. And I need to, you know, I want to be around for nephews. I want to be around for Theodore's 18th, you know. Probably, you know, the other one, Dimitri. Jesus.
Yeah.
I just have arguments with this bloke, honestly. But I won't come to his 16th. I'll come to his 18th and put up disaster photos for him.
Were you at his 5th birthday?
No. This kid, right? I'll get on the phone. I'll go, wait, Dimitri, who do you follow in the footy? He goes, Paul. I go, is that shit one? He's like, what do you mean? They're the shit ones, yeah? He goes, nah. I go, oh, sorry, you must be talking about Arsenal. Oh, mate. I actually reckon he likes Arsenal more than he likes Port, bro. I actually do. Even though you've thumped it into him.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, we just upgraded our bloody tickets to the Port home games. Oof. So I'm like, man, you better start liking Port too, champ. Well, he does. No, he does. Like, even when he gets to the point where my father-in-law, because my father-in-law's a massive crow's head.
Poor bloke.
Oh, no. And, like, he'll say to Dimitri, oh, you're a Crow supporter. And, like, Dimitri will start, like, crying, like, cracking the shits. No, I'm not. They're no good. Port's the best, this and that.
See, that's good. I like that. I love seeing kids like that.
He cries, man.
Like, do you know what? I think parenting, the best parenting moment I've ever seen is I reckon it was a Crows something game. I can't remember what it was. Maybe North Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I remember I saw this little North Melbourne supporter. He would have been 5 or 6. I don't care. Like, I'm a passionate supporter. Stamati will tell you about how legendary my lives are on Facebook.
My God. Took him to a Port game, Richmond game once. And
Are we doing that again?
Oh, yeah, we'll do it again, don't worry. And all the guys around me, I'm in the Port members area, and they go, are you fucking serious? You're bringing a Richmond supporter in? I'm like, trust me, boys, he's fucking good value. It's all right.
Let the show begin.
And at the end of it, they were like, you're welcome back anytime.
It's...
No, what will you say? Dusty, you can have my babies.
Oh, yeah, Dusty. There is a famous Richmond song where it goes, oh, Dustin Martin, you are the love of my life. Oh, Dustin Martin, I'd let you shag my wife. Oh, Dustin Martin, I want a neck tattoo too. And I will scream that at the top of my lungs, even in the shower. And one day my neighbour came over and she goes, oh, Ben, nice singing. I was like, fuck, who's looking? Are you looking through the windows again? Are you being that creepy old lady? But when it comes, like, when I saw this little North Melbourne supporter turn around and just rip out and, like, started ragging on Crows players, and then this lady said something to him, like this 60-year-old lady, typical Crows supporter, right? Mm-hmm. She's ragging on a 6-year-old kid, and he just turns around and gives her the finger. And I looked at him, I was like, well played, little man. You've been raised right. Your father should be proud. Because I expect that of my son by the time he's 4, and if he's not, I'm sorry, he'll be disowned. There's only 2 colours in my house, yellow or black, or get the fuck out. It's as simple as that.
Oh, you got to see the layer. Oh, God. In his back shed there, he's just got like all the Richmond grand final newspapers.
You mean the premiership ones? The premiership ones? Almost, Villani, fun story, I almost scored myself 2 tickets to Brisbane because I had a mate of mine, he was selling them cheap. What was his name? Smarts?
Why are you going to bring that up? Why are you going to bring that up?
That was probably one of my favourite days ever. The COVID Cup. It was a good cup, that one. And
yeah.
Then we ragged on Geelong the week after, who my eldest brother is a supporter of. I mean, look, in our family, like, we're close, but we are clearly separated by sports lines in our family. My eldest brother is a Geelong supporter. I was away on a Bucks trip that weekend. And I tried to do the gentlemanly thing. I rang him up and went, hey, mate, I go, enjoy tonight's game. I said, good luck. And my brother, who's 21 years older than me, so he'd be about in his 50s, the next words that came out of his mouth were legendary. He goes, fuck you, you're the enemy, and hung up on me. I was like, oh, fucking all right, cunt. Is that how we're playing this game? Mate, let me tell you, when Geelong were, I don't know, 30-odd points up at halftime, something like that, mate, my phone's lighting up from my brother. I'm sitting there, and then we win the game. We come back and we just complete this victory. I know for a fact that within 0.3 of a second of that final siren going, my brother's phone was switched off because he knew what was coming. He knew what was coming. But see, it was the same as 2017, and this is where sports as well can be a healing thing. Like, in 2017, we lost our son James. Literally the only thing that fucking motivated me to do anything on the weekend, and I would tune out completely anything, was the Richmond Football Club. Like, literally, that was my saving grace each and every weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck about any. It was the thing I looked forward to.
Yeah.
You know, everything else I hated. I loved my wife, but I fucking hated everything else. Right? It was the 3-4 hours where I fucking loved it. And I remember, you know, where the story of me becoming a Richmond supporter is quite simple. I moved to Melbourne when I was a kid. And my cousin in Melbourne, his name's Brian, he's actually coming over for the gather round. Turns around and goes, who do you go for? Richmond good. And I was about 9 years old, and that was it. I was yellow and black. And, you know, all year I'm watching the team. Fucking, we're winning games. I'm sitting there going, oh, the year before we're calling for Dimmer's head. We want him gone. And then all of a sudden this group of players, they just started banding together. And you know, each week we started winning and winning and winning, and then fucking all of a sudden, hang on a second, we're playing finals. I went, fuck. Got to get to Melbourne. Made my wife and I, made her drive us to Melbourne. Well, I drove. She slept most of the way. We went over for the Geelong-Richmond first final, and we rolled Geelong. We haven't beaten Geelong in 26-odd games. My brother used to hammer me for it, and we beat him. And then we had to play, I can't even remember who it was, to get into the granny. And I had a couple of mates at my house. I'm sitting there going, fucking please let us win. Please let us win. We got in. I've got this video of me literally smashing my floorboards on my hands and knees, like screaming that we've made it to the granny. I think that was on the Friday night we played. And then the next day, one of my, a good mate of mine turned around and rings me and goes, do you want a ticket for the grand final? I said, fuck, what's it going to cost me, man? He goes, look, my uncle's an AFL member. You pay for his next year membership and you can get the ticket. It cost me $200.
What?
Is that it?
It was cheap, man. It was cheap. I don't even know how.
Who's he a member of?
AFL member.
AFL member?
AFL member. So in Victoria, you've got MCC members, you've got AFL members, you've got club members. There's all these different ones. You can actually get the AFL membership here in Adelaide as well.
So what is that? What's the
difference? He got a so every year he gets guaranteed tickets to finals every year, including the granny. None AFL membership,
regardless of what club.
Regardless
it's an
of what
AFL
club.
membership.
And it's only $200.
Yeah, that's what his renewal fee is. I'm sure he paid a hell of a lot more for it. Anyway, I got that, so I got a ticket to the granny. I'm sitting there going, fuck, you know, I've had a worst year of my life. But then it's the greatest year of my life. I'm going to Melbourne. I'm going to a grand final. And I'm going to a grand final against my hometown team.
Crows. Yeah.
Like, you know, all my mates who have absolutely hammered me about Ninthman, you know, that we're shit, we're no good. I've put up with it for over 2 decades, or 2.5 decades. And I remember we got there, went to the grand final parade. That was killer. Watched the open training. That was killer. Then the morning of the grand final, I wake up at about 5 a.m, start drinking Jimmy cans. And I was so nervous that day, but I was so excited. I'd forgotten everything. Get to the ground, you're sitting on the wing, 2 rows off the fence. I'm sitting there going, fucking best. I'm sitting there going, these are the greatest seats in the world. And I'm here, watching the game. I remember as that siren sounded, I had been 30 plus years since we won a premiership. That scream came out, and then I stopped and I went, maybe this is something my son wanted me to be at. Maybe this is something that, I'm sorry, Dad, I can't be here with you, but I know how much sport and footy and that club means to you, right? And I remember literally sitting there. People are looking at me thinking I'm crying about Richmond, but I'm crying because it's been the greatest and the saddest year of my life. But it just shows how little things in life can help your mental well-being, whether it be, family, friends, sport, playing sport, watching sport. That little bit of time gave me fucking the most happiest moment of my life. And I remember my cousin, because he thought he'd bought tickets for the punt road end, but he hadn't. He'd gotten the other city end, which happened to be with the Adelaide Crows cheer squad. And I may or may not have been on TV multiple times because I wear this big fucking stupid tiger head. This big tiger head. They catch me every time. BT rags on me. If I catch him outside, I'll get him. But I remember him running around the MCG and me outside, and we've just literally hugged and I've gone, you've caused me over 2.5 years of heartache, but you've given me one of the happiest days of my life. And I'll literally say, in my life, the 3 greatest things that ever to happen to me is marrying my wife.
I thought you were talking about
having my son.
Premierships.
Nah, but being there for that grand final.
Yeah.
That was great. I'm talking a step below everything in life, but that is one of the best things in the world to see something that you're so passionate. And Lundy, when you come over, you'll see the level of passionate. I've seen people that have got few this, few that. I've gone slightly over the top to the point my wife, when she was pregnant with Luca, what do you want to go for names? I'm thinking, you know what? Jack's a good name.
Jack Rewalt.
Jack Rewalt. What else? I don't know. What do you think of the name Trent Bella? Trent Cotchin.
Dusty?
I was like, Dustin? She goes, not a fucking chance. I was like, Damien's a good one. She goes, no, that's the Omen child. I'm literally running through. The only one that I reckon I probably could have gotten across the line would have been Alex or Alexander, because my wife absolutely loved Alex Rance.
Yeah.
My wife, let me tell you, from a girl who does not watch who never used to watch anything other than her sister play basketball, mate, my wife will text me, hey, babe, new season of Drive to Survive's coming out. She's a Formula One head now. She'll sit there, baby, don't forget there's a one-dayer on. Make sure you watch it. You're the best. You're like a sports almanac. She loves sports now. She'll sit there and she'll watch a game with me. Sharing that moment. I don't know what it was like for you watching a game of footy or soccer with Dimitri when he was first born. Mate, that was one of the best. I've literally got this photo of me in my Richmond Guernsey, him in his little Richmond Guernsey, and I've got it blown up in my house. I fucking love that club so much, and I love my son so much that he has zero choice. One of my friends actually asked me, he said, what would you do if they come to me and goes, what would you do if Luca was either trans or a port spot? I said, I'd buy the dresses myself. Not a chance. There's no chance my son will ever become a port spotter.
On the weekend, we were at a birthday, and all 3 of us.
Look at him. See, but you look at Theodore's face and it kind of looks like child abuse.
I bought my kids Guernseys too.
Yeah, every year, man, they get a new one.
No, but now I sit there and go,
expensive.
Richmond Guernsey, Southampton Guernsey,
Yeah.
England Guernseys. My wife's part Italian, so he's got to get an Italy top as well. So, it's like, I remember he was just born and Euros were on. My wife, he would have been, 4 or 5 weeks? I left my wife at home. This is a proud first fatherhood moment. Left my wife at home with a 5-week-old child so I could go to the casino and watch the Euro finals. I still stand by that decision, even though my wife was not happy with it. And a few of my mates said, probably fucked up there.
Well, that's like me religiously. I get a haircut 4 o'clock every Friday for the last, can't even tell you, all right? When Dimitri was born.
You booked him at 3:30?
No, when Dimitri was born, so where I go get my haircut at Barber Society, right? He had he had just opened that Barber Society, so he used to own RT Care Studio at Mawson Lakes. So I was going from Findon to Mawson Lakes, right? When he opened up Barber Society at College Park, but which is now in Prospect. Katrina was in hospital, just gave birth to Dimitri. I'm like, well, it's my appointment.
It's an important thing. The barber trip is an important
I've got to go. So she goes, well, make sure you come straight back. Firstborn, man. Okay, she can make sure you come. I'm like, well, people are coming over, so I've got to look,
I'm a new dad, got to look good.
Got to look the part.
Got to shave my balls.
Manscaped.
Manscaped. Come on, Manscaped. Honestly, I reckon I've been Googling your website for the last week and a half for these two boys. Can someone give us a pointer on where to find someone in marketing for these guys? Because nobody's going to market it any better. I think when I decided to come on board as a sponsor, the first thing I said to my guys, boys, shave my balls and call me a sponsor. Let's get to it.
Yeah. I've got the text here. Yeah, that was exactly. Hang on, I'll bring it up. Here we go. Oh no, not there. Where did you send it? Was it on Facebook?
You're talking about the nudes or? No, those ones. I believe that was either that was either a text or it may have been an official email from the official Lush Clean Kicks email at Gmail. There, if anybody needs it.
Oh, here we go. Yep. So, not friends on Facebook yet. And the first message I get is, hey, bro, shave my balls and call me a sponsor, with a screenshot of the payment made. And I'm like, best, welcome on board. We'll put an ad together, rah, rah, rah. And then he goes, yeah, could be a good name for the show. So maybe we'll do that. We'll just shave my balls and call me a sponsor.
Yeah.
It's not a bad one.
Well, name for this episode at least.
And do you know what? I like you boys, what you're doing for men's mental health. I implore anyone, look, I'm by no means a full-time running my own business or anything like that. Can I afford millions of dollars? I'd love to. But get behind these guys. They're doing something special for not just... for guys, but the Adelaide region, touching everyone. So I implore, it's not a lot, it's not big money, but it will go a long way to help continue doing these awesome podcasts and doing what they do. So it's an important thing because like a lot of people struggle with it. I don't know.
Yeah, and that was the platform that we started on. We started on the fact that, there's so many services out there for females going through rough times and domestic violence and all sorts of things, right? There's a women's and children's hospital.
Yeah.
We don't have a men's hospital. That's just a general hospital. But they're closing down all these little NGOs, like non-government organizations that are not funded by any government or anything. They're all getting closed down.
And you see it really bad now, especially in the city.
Especially in the time that we're living where drugs plays a major factor. Cost of living plays a major factor. Family breakdowns plays a major factor.
Well, even the other week, we were talking about like the different percentages on mental health. Like
we're
drugs,
just seeing
alcohol.
that more and more men are suffering, and no one is doing anything about it. And I'm not saying that we're going to save the world,
No.
but the fact that we're here talking about it is going to do something.
Just make people aware. That's all you can do.
Like, and if you can literally, like, as I said, like, I was driving home from a fishing trip and listening, and to the point where it fucking literally it hit me that hard. Like, I actually rang Stamati after I was like, Stamati, and Stamati gives the perfect one-liner all the times. I'm like, Stamati, you free? He goes, can I call you back? And he'll ring back maybe a day or two later. Like, him and his sister, they're best at it. Let me ring you back. I'll be an hour. Okay, no dramas. An hour Greek time. Well, like, what are we talking here? Just so I can adjust my, like, 4 a.m. But, like...
I cop the same. Like, we're on the phone about soccer or something, and he's like, oh, I'll call the club now and find out. I'll give you a call back. 3 days later, he calls me about something totally irrelevant. I'm like, oh... How'd you go with that? I didn't call you back, did I?
Well, no, even now that I'm trying to I'm supposed to be booking a table. That was like 3 weeks ago for this 30th anniversary, and he just says, "Now, have you bought the table yet?" I was like, "Oh fuck, no."
Do you know what?
Sorry, there's 20 bloody tables still left. We're all good.
I just don't want to miss out on the early bird tickets.
I love that rush too of an early bird ticket. You're like, oh, got to get in soon.
You want to come? We need 2 spots. $140 a ticket.
All food and drink included.
Ooh.
Wine centre.
Ooh.
Support, the Comets Football Club.
And you can, and I reckon what you should.
I felt like Homer Simpson then. It's kind of like, but the frogget is cursed. That's bad. But the frogget is free. That's good.
But the best part about it is you can come out one Sunday and watch my team kick his team's ass.
Oh, that'd be killer.
There you go. Fuck
Do you know what? Like, so is there going to be an official like grudge match or?
We've had like 3 or 4 grudge matches.
What's the score? Where are we at? What's the score tally?
I've won all 3 games.
What are you doing?
Oh, obviously not.
Like you're not. And what unders are you coaching?
Under 8s this year. It was under. So we started under 6s, 7s, now in 8s.
You're clearly misleading these young gentlemen. All right. What you need to do, you need to come in with like, I don't know.
No.
Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, Terry Venables.
No.
It'd be, he was, I don't care what anyone says, he was a great manager.
Yeah, that's great. No.
No?
Arsene Wenger, Arteta's ripping it up. You know what, I think we should go into Blake's.
This year so far. Yeah, Blake's bits.
I think we should go into Blake's bits, mate.
This is Blake's Bit.
I think Arteta so far this year.
Oh, he's gangster.
Like, I mean, as in 2024, not the season in general. This just from Christmas.
Well, because we went to Dubai.
Has become a different fucking team.
Yeah, we went to Dubai and I'm a player in the club.
Because you've been playing for the club your whole life.
Yes, actually.
Oh, yeah? Are you an actual member?
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's pretty rare to find someone in Australia to be a member of an international club.
I am.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, you guys have got too much money.
Yeah.
Nah, it's
Well,
not.
your sponsorship money. So
I've paid that expensive.
I've paid for next
it's
year's
not.
sponsorships.
yeah, thanks, mate.
How much is it to be a member?
Oh,
I can't even remember. I just renewed.
It's not that expensive.
I think it's like £25.
Yeah, something like that.
Jesus, that's
So
a
that's
lot
about
cheaper than
$50.
an Aussie rules.
Yeah, but don't forget, you're just a member.
You're not
So
getting
that
anything.
doesn't give you any benefits.
Yeah,
It just the only benefit is if you were to go over there, then they can find you a ticket. Because finding a ticket to an EPL game is fucking very
Next to
scarce.
impossible. It's impossible.
It's mental. Like I'm a South Australian state member for Richmond, and I spend, I think it's $160 for me. I reckon it's another 120 for Luca. He's 2.5. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's expensive.
I think I'm spending like, I think Dimitri's season ticket, like junior's like $200.
Really?
Yeah. And that's like Black Diamond.
Wow. Yeah, but see, Richmond have
Well,
different
no, maybe
levels.
it's more.
That's not even a standard level. Like at the Richmond Football Club, I'm on a base. I'm on the top of the range for an interstate member. But if you go home state members, I think my cousins in Melbourne, they pay like $2.5 a year.
Yeah, right.
I'm spending $17.
That's including a ticket, yeah?
Yeah, that's including.
Yeah.
a
For
ticket.
all Richmond home games.
Yeah. But you don't get the fucking gather round.
Yeah, thank God we got that. I can't wait. I'm so pumped up to go to Norwood Football Club. What the fuck?
Oh, I don't know.
It's disgusting. I don't want to go watch my team. Richmond are a powerhouse football club.
You're
What
right.
are they doing playing at fucking Norwood?
Could be worse. You could be going to Mount Barker.
It's a good club, man. Actually, do you know what? If you ever get a chance, go up to Mount Barker and get a good schnitzel. They are one of the best in Adelaide, let me tell you.
Mate, I know I said it last week, but go to the bloody Schnit house there, mate, at Hilton. A killer.
Nah.
It's a killer.
Let me tell you, I've been a man who's had 78 different palmies, schnitzels, variants. One of the best ones I've ever actually had, and this is no word of the lie.
Victory Hotel, mate. Number one.
It's on Port Road at High Marsh. It's called the Land of Promise.
What?
The Land of Promise.
Have you never heard of the Land
Have
of
you
Promise?
never heard of the Lop?
Mate, that is the original home of Snitties and Titties.
Oh, bro.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
But let me tell you, no. Genuinely, their schnitzels are top notch. And do you know what? You go there, it's like a real old school pub meal. You even get bread and butter with a schnitzel. Don't ever stop that coming out. Plus, you get schnitty and a titty. Like,
Or two.
or two. Like, it depends. One could be an amputee.
Do you know, back in uni, we used to go there all the time.
Oh, it's best.
Jump on the tram,
Yeah.
go have a meal, pay a few strippers to, shake their boobies,
Yep.
and that's it. And then go back to uni.
Beautiful.
You know what? There's no better way. And this is why people like you should be leading our country. Like, do you know what? I don't see...
Valandi for next Prime Minister.
Do you know what? I don't see Albanese doing that. Do you know what? That's what I want. I actually want one of those. That's why I kind of like Donald Trump. Like, I was against him at first.
Yeah.
But I sit there and go, you know what? The bloke fucks porn stars. He's got billions of dollars. He's run amok and he hasn't given a shit.
Yeah.
But I kind of like him as a president because he runs it like a business. There's no emotion to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He runs the country like a business, and he gets things back on track.
Yeah.
And then on the side, he's snorting coke and fucking prostitutes. But, who are we to judge?
Like, how can you be angry at a man for like that? Like, any man will tell you, if you hit lotto, what you want? I want cocaine and strippers. Like, the guy's actually living that dream, and we look down. Some people look down and frown upon him.
Would you get cocaine and strippers?
If you want lotto, 100 million, the 100 million that went off the other week.
Mate, I've never done any drugs in my entire life.
Do you know?
I've never even smoked pot or nothing.
You know, I'd get it and make you just stare at it, just so you could say at least you've looked at it.
Nah, so I'm all right.
But what about strippers? Strippers are okay.
Yeah, strippers are fine. Yeah.
Oh, wait. What about with your wife? Does your wife condone you seeing a stripper?
She doesn't give a shit.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, she doesn't care.
Oh, look, I mean, if I was to go to a Bucks night, she wouldn't have a problem
Yeah, no,
with that.
I'm saying like Bucks
But
night
if I was to just go, hey, babe, I'm going down to
to
Land
Palace
of Promise.
or whatever, yeah, she would have a problem.
What about if you get a lap dance at a buck show?
no, absolutely
At
not.
a buck show.
I just wouldn't do it though.
What happens at a Buck show stays at a Buck show.
So is that a hard nose to mutts?
Yeah, come man.
I had a
Got to respect the
mate.
missus.
I got him in big trouble. I got him.
Yeah.
I won't say his name, but his wife. You know, but this bloke was too honest. I thought it was too honest because what you said, Valandi, 100% agree. What happens on buck shows stays at buck shows.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
I got him a lap dance, all right? And he's gone home and told his wife, and they've had a full-blown argument. I'm like, why would you go home? He goes, because I'm honest with my wife. Right, fair enough. It's okay to be honest with your wife, all right? You haven't done anything wrong. You've been out with the boys. You're at a buck show. What happens on tour stays on tour. Simple as that. As long as you're not doing anything untowards that's, breaking your marriage, your sacred vows, hey, by all means.
Exactly. It's not like he was poking anything in there.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Like, the lap dance is a form of art, and it's a way of...
Is that going to tell yourself?
Bro, it's also an
It's a
exercise. It's exercise too. Have you
And
not seen...
you're paying this woman to go grab herself a meal.
Mate, you're paying for someone's education. Because how many times
How many times have you heard the topless waitresses? Yeah, I'm just doing it to get by, to pay for my uni.
You know what? Do you know what? As far as I'm concerned, I've put through half of uni of Adelaide. It's been a beautiful thing. And you know what?
Do you know the ones that always get me? I'm just doing this to pay to get
Hexter.
to put food on the table for my son.
Oh, that's worse. You know, because then you spend an extra $20 on raffle tickets, and it's game over. It's just game over.
Oh, like the good old 108 days. Man, they'd come around selling like one ticket for $5 or 3 for 10.
10 best, and you'd always buy 3
and
for
like
10.
You'd be spending more money on tickets than actually buying drinks.
Yes. And at the end of the night, you've gone, why have I spent $300? Then you've realised you spent $260 on tickets and $40 on alcohol because the drinks all night were like $4 or $3.
So I went out one night with a mate, or a group of mate actually, a group of boys. One of them spent over $1,500 on tickets. Wow! How many
On
dances
tickets?
do you think he got out of those?
Oh, tell
my
me. If he
God,
didn't get at
you're
least
joking.
2 or 3, I'd have been disappointed.
He got none. He
Really?
got none. He was
That's
fucking
fucked.
gutted. I said, dude, you get 3 for 10. Do you not think you'd probably stop at around $50? Like, honestly,
I mean, look,
you would have been better off just going and getting private lap dancers.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, nah, but I wanted to do it for the boys, you know, to do it on the couch so everyone can watch.
But so what? You spend $100 and get them on the table.
now, you know what was funny? So I can't remember which cousin, which Bucks night it was, but it was one of the cousins. Anyway, we went to the Palace later. Now, I had never been to the Palace,
Really?
right?
I don't know where you're talking about, by the way, because I know my wife's listening.
Yeah, I've never been to the Palace before. Anyway, so
My wife used to run events in the palace.
okay.
Best.
So you know how you've got the like you walk up the stairs and the one straight ahead, not the one back here.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you don't know where.
Absolutely
where
know
that is.
exactly where you're talking about.
Right, so the one straight ahead, right, and you got the tables around the stage, and then your other table,
Yeah.
the benches,
The multi-bench.
right. So
That's where the hawkers sit. The ones that look like hawks. They're all sitting there like perching, ready to just eat these strippers.
right. Anyway, so we're you know, we're all Greeks, right? We're all sitting in the front row, and the stripper, she comes up to us, she goes, "Just letting you guys know that this row, you have to tip." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm telling the boys, and then we all go back 2
One row.
rows.
Yeah, I would too.
How funny was that?
Mate, do you know what though? Like, I remember, like, my wife, she knows this very well. My buck show, right? I'll be open and honest about. I've got wounds from my buck show.
Yeah,
My brother threw a firework and made one of the toppies bleed, and also me bleed. But I had signs up that said, "Please be courteous to the entertainment. Please no photos, no videos, unless you ask permission."
So being
Right?
respectful.
So be respectful, right? These girls work hard, man, and they're good value. You know what I mean? And I remember the next morning I woke up, and my wife looks at me, and she goes, "Did you put signs up?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Maybe you wanted to tell your brother that one of my brothers had video recorded strippers, mainly me with the strippers, and posted it on Facebook, but was kind enough also to tag my future wife in it as well."
oh, you're joking.
Oh, how good of a bloke's he? Fucking top bloke.
Oh my god.
So, and you know what's even worse?
Oh,
The worst thing is,
fucking social media.
it comes up on our anniversaries as well. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And there's nothing you can do because can't access his account to delete it because he wouldn't know what his password was. He barely knows what his name is. And then she can't stop it from happening. And she's tried to report it and it doesn't do anything. So every year she gets a notification and she'll look at her history and bang, there it is. Me, stripper, bucks, best.
God. That's out of control.
It is.
Out of control. All right, Benny, give us another rundown on Lush Kicks.
So, guys, you can find us on, we're on Insta, Lush Clean Kicks Australia, Facebook, Lush Clean Kicks. Anything you want, hit me up, private message. I'm pretty good with my responses. Not overly expensive. If you like your shoes looking nice and clean, you like just that fresh look, you've got shoes that are, you know, your pride and joys, I'll look after them. I use quality products from the States. I've been doing it for a couple of years now. There's some examples there for you guys to have a look at. Feel free to hit me up. Support me, support these guys, and support local.
Do you also clean Yanni's freaks?
No.
No?
I can do the Yanni's. It depends on. I've actually seen some horror stories with them that have come up actually with some of the Greek freak shoes, just because of the multi-faceted material that they're using. Like shoes are getting ridiculous. You know, you got suede, you've got nubuck, you've got leather, you've got this, you've got that. I've made a couple of bad mistakes. Thank God they were on my own shoes and not a customer's. But it's all about learning. Even down to like simple tip, like one of the best ways to look at your shoes is your laces, right? Get your shoelaces,
Take them off, wash them.
wash them up, but then put them in some bleach. Let them sit there for no more than 10 minutes. Then wash them again, but wash them with a clean soap, like a clear soap, and dry them. Your laces look brand new. Like even I was looking at replacement laces. I did a pair of Supreme Nikes.
Ooh.
I mean, they were big dollars. Like I bought them. I paid $400 from it, and like you'll see them on the Facebook, they were trashed. Like they were completely and utterly fucked. But I ended up selling them for about $800. I doubled my money on them, and I just gave them a clean, treated them right, and they looked brand new once I got rid of them.
Wow, there you go. There you go. Awesome. Great episode.
Thanks very much, Benny, for coming on.
No,
Appreciate
boys,
it.
thank you.
Thank you very much. You're welcome to come back anytime, and maybe next time.
I'll bring a fruit platter.
Yeah.
And now I'm pissed because he's broken the record by 1 minute.
Have I?
Yeah, it was 2 hours and 9 minutes. That was my episode when I first came on. And
That's
now
right.
He's just
2
beaten
hours
it
and
2 hours and 10 minutes.
Do you know what? I'm always 1 minute longer than you. Just remember that.
Of course.
Guys, thanks very much. And follow us on Instagram, Facebook,
And
TikTok, YouTube.
I
We're on.
love the YouTube one, actually.
There's some videos starting to creep on there now.
Yep, beautiful.
So anyone that wants to subscribe, please do. And reach out to us.
Thanks,
Take
guys.
it easy.
Thanks, guys.